Hi guys, Fabiana here from Creative Swimwear, and today I'm gonna be making this top. I'm gonna be using the Sentro machine to make it, and that's how it looks like. It's all mostly knitted on the machine, and it has finishings with just crochet, and I'm gonna be explaining that how to make that as well, and how to add these little beads inside to make this nice little detail here. And so yarn we're gonna be using is this very fine yarn here and this Starlight yarn, and I'm gonna be putting the link down in the description below for these two yarns because I buy, as you know, I buy them in Australia at Spotlight. So but normally the yarns, you can buy them everywhere, similar yarn but from another brand. And so we're gonna be using only 2 balls. It's really fast, a really fast project. You can make this top, I made this top in around 1.5 hours. Very fast. And the machine, so the machine we're gonna be using is this one. It's a Sentro machine with 48 needles. Okay, you need to have this, the bigger machine you can get. They have these machines, here's the brand, with 40 needles and also 22, but then it's not enough to make these projects because, as you can see, they are long, so they have to go all the way through here to here, and that's why you're gonna need all the needles you can get. So on the panel mold you can use 44 needles, and that's what I'm gonna be using to make this, okay? But you can make, I mean, this fits a large all the way to C cup, but if you wanna make an A and B cup as well, I'm gonna be explaining on the pattern. So the pattern is gonna be available on my website and also on Etsy, okay? And it's gonna be also in the description below. I sell my patterns for a really cheap price. They're around $3 to $4 on Etsy, because this way I get the views and you guys get a pattern for almost nothing. So I'm gonna be explaining on this video how to make all this. So let's get started. Top, we are going to work on the panel mold, and we're going to cast on the maximum amount of stitches that we can, starting from number 3. So needle number 3, and then grab the yarn from the inside of your row to make it easier for you to cast the stitches and work. And then put it there in that first needle. Make sure the needle grabs the stitch, and then cast that same way we always do, all the way to stitch number 45. Here 45, put it under and inside the yarn holder here, and through these 3 tension spots. So all 3 of them, because the tension needs to be the right tension for this yarn. And then you can start your way back, just making sure all the hooks get the yarn. So we will be making 44 rows with this yarn, and then we're gonna be changing to the other yarn after We have 44 rows. Always when you finish a row, make sure the yarn's underneath there, so you can start your way back. Okay, so 44 rows of this, and then we're gonna add this yarn after and make a few more rows with this one. And now I'm going to cut this yarn here, and I'm going to start working with the other one. Okay, always take the yarn from the middle of the row because it's easier to work this way. And now we're going to make a knot here with these two, as close as you can to the needle. Okay, and then we're going to work, put this yarn underneath here and put inside the yarn holder but after the knot, and then start your way back this way. Slowly, just to make sure everything goes right. Make sure the yarn is underneath this part here, and then after that you can put the yarn through here. All the tension, all the three of them. I'm sorry because my camera doesn't, this machine's really big. Anyway, start working now. We're going to make, already forgot the number of rows, 28 rows. Okay, so 28 rows with this one here, and after that I'm gonna put on the I'm making a pattern for this that I'm selling on Etsy and on my website, and there I'm going to put the changes for the small and the large size. Okay, so for now we are going to make a medium, so 28 rows with this yarn here, and then after that I'm gonna show you how to finish it off. We made 28 rows with this other color. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go put the yarn in the middle and leave it still attached here, and then make a full row without yarn. Okay, and then with another color, just because it makes it easier to work with the crochet on top of it if you use another color. With this other color, we are going to cast them off. So leave a tail there, and then go around every single stitch, removing them from the needles. I find out that using a different yarn color is much easier to see the stitches and to work with them. And to see them to work and make the crochet around it. Because you actually need to finish these the panels made with this machine, you need to finish them off with crochet, otherwise it doesn't look very good. So I'll be doing this all around, and then I'm going to use this yarn again to crochet around this part of around the top part of this top. So this is how it looks like when you take this out of the machine. And I know it's black, but if you look at one of any of my other videos, I explain that in other colors as well. Okay, so you can watch it there if it's hard for you to see, because basically the same thing I do every time. So you can be using this hook that came with the machine as well. It's a crochet hook, but because I prefer my own hooks, I'm using my own. So we're gonna leave that white yarn on the back because we are going to remove it later, and we're gonna put the hook through the first loop. Put the hook through the first loop and then put the hook through the second loop as well. Now all we're gonna do is put the yarn over, pull it, put the hook through the second stitch and put through both. Okay, now one thing you have to be careful with is not make it too tight. Okay, so I'm leaving a pretty big loop on this where the stitch is gonna be made, so it's not tight. You don't want the end to be too tight because you want to look nice. So the stitches have to be quite open and loose. So that's all you're gonna do here, all the way to the end. And when we get to the end, we are going to make crochet around the side as well. And also make sure you're using the last loop, okay, because these loops sometimes they go underneath the second one. So all you do is actually pull this white yarn here so you can see the loop you have to work with. And this white yarn, we're gonna remove it later, and that's the whole reason why we use this color. So see, that's how it looks like. And then we're gonna remove this and it's going to look just like that. Before you remove this tail here, this white yarn, make sure you have the tension that you want it. Otherwise you can just open it. If you think it's too tight, just open it all again. Keep this yarn here and redo it. Okay, so I like my tension, so I'm going to just remove this. Okay, and that's how this looks like now. And to work on the sides is basically the same. Okay, you make one stitch to every row. So each row is a V. I know it's hard to see, I'm sorry. I wanted to make black for my friend. Okay, but each little V is one row, and you're gonna make same way we did before. Put the yarn, put the hook through the second hole, pull it, yarn over, make it. So I'll be making this only on this part, because I'm gonna leave it loose, the other part, and I'm not working with crochet around the entire piece, only through this part here, because that's where we're gonna have the ties on the front and on the back. And the rest I'm gonna just leave it loose. See how it works, see if I like it at the end. Okay, so if you wanna work crochet around on the other part as well, I would, unless you wanna use this color, see now you can see the V's here on this color. Unless you want this to be this color, like you could probably, wouldn't hurt, but I'm going to just repeat the same I did on the other side. So I'm going to chain 4 after the last one, and here I'm making a hole for my ties. So skip 1, 2, 3, in the fourth one make a single crochet, and then turn again and make a few more stitches on the top. So this is okay, just some single crochet on the top, and here just put through that next row, pull it and pull it again, and make one chain here to cut your yarn. So now that's where I finished here, and now I started with a slip knot on the beginning there, and then I'm going to put through the first row of this color, and I'm going to slip stitch. So yarn over, pull it again, make sure it's tied, and then repeat that same thing where we will be making single crochets, one in each little hole you have there, one in each row, one in each knitted row. Okay, and here on the last one, just put the hook through that first stitch, pull it, and pull it again, and make one chain. And then you can cut your yarn here. No, just don't cut the yarn here, because we're gonna join both sides together here on the top, okay? Finish it off there, and then I just put this bead through here. I like this bead, but you can actually put that ring if you want as well. I think I prefer the bead, so I put the bead there. And now here, just gonna make a knot, put the hook through to pull this. Make sure you are on the very last stitch on the other side. Here, you see the very last, here, the very last stitch. And I recommend you do this first time in another color. Okay, put it through. There it is. Okay, and then now you're gonna need something to pull the yarn inside the bead again. I'm using this very small hook here. Make sure it's tied. Okay, I think 2 loops is enough. And then here just finish with a knot as well. I'm going to cut this shorter here. Just make a little knot with your hook. And then hide this tail after. Okay, so I'm going to repeat this same thing. I'm going to do it again here, okay, with this tail that I have. And then starting on the front part of it, we're gonna start with double yarn. If you want to just use a single yarn, if that's thick enough for you, it's okay as well. Up to you. So we're gonna make a slip knot here, and then starting from this first stitch right next to the bead here, this first stitch here, we're going to slip stitch in there. This just slip stitch, and then we're gonna make chains. Okay, so this necktie has to be long enough so you can cross on the back, put through here, cross again, and put through here. Okay, so try on yourself before you finish and you cut this yarn, because it's a long one. I think it's gonna be around 100 chains. So I'm going to make here, and then I'm gonna just let you know how many I made, okay? And I'll be back. And just so I tell you, I think here I made one single crochet to every row, and that's a little too loose, okay? So when you make this right in the middle here, repeat the same thing I did here. I'm not gonna open because I already closed it all, but it's one single crochet to every 2 rows, so you're gonna skip 1 row, okay? So that way is a bit tighter, like this. It's a bit tighter than this part here, and that will look a little better. Or if you want, you can put a 3rd bead here in the middle as well and make 3 beads. That will look cool as well, I think. 3 beads here, but this one's looking really cool anyway. So I'm gonna finish these and then I'm gonna try it on to show you how it looks like. I actually like on myself. And then this top's ready. So this top was really fast. I think it took me around, I would say 1 hour, an hour and a half to make. It's a nice top for a party or a festival or whatever you're thinking about. And I'm going to Bali next week. I'm so excited, and so I'm gonna bring it with me. So I'm gonna leave this pattern on Etsy as well. I'm gonna put on Etsy, in the pattern, in the PDF file, the changes for sizes, okay? Small, medium and large. This one can be made in a large, but as you can see, there's not much support for the breasts, so yeah, up to you. If you have bra that you can use with this type of top, that's okay to use with probably D size, C size would be fine. My breast is B to C, it's not very big, so it works really well for me. Top, after it's ready, I think if you want to actually wrap around a few more times these ties, you can make them bigger and wrap them wherever you want, you know, come from the front, whatever. Because I see people like to wrap around things these days on their body and that. And so this is really cool because it stretches this part here and makes it fit well. But as I said to you, just try to make this a bit more tight on your stitch and less stitches here on the finishing. That way it won't be like this. And if you want as well, just add another bead here in the middle. I think it would look really cool. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and try it on just to show you guys how it looks like. But then, yeah, that's our project for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave me a comment, give me a like and subscribe to my channel because I'm always posting either swimwear or Sentro machine patterns, which I'm loving to make because they are so fast and easy. So that's it, guys. Hope you all have a good week and I see you next week.